So it starts off with Max on a nice sunny day in the middle of a deserted wasteland. No bills, no taxes, and with a car like that, I know damn well he ain't paying no type of car insurance. He randomly starts packing his bags and hops in the V, making sure to really put that rust bucket to use. And we see a gang pull up behind him and chase him down. One of the bald-headed Kratos warriors was sticking his head out the car, taking out a spear and launched it into the car, causing it to flip over about 5 times. And Max came rolling out that bit, eating straight sand and getting flashbacks. I'm talking PTSD. He over there on all fours, ass tooted up, getting stepped on and having a gun pointed at his head. And when they brought him back to their hideout, they gave him a free glow up. I said, oh damn. Started giving him a haircut and some tattoos. Even got lil bro on his knees, gripping onto them hair follicles, just like some of y'all old heads. It's time to go bald, Unc. Just let it go, please. But once they brought out the hot metal to brand him, Max kicked 2 of them off, elbowed one in the ribs, punched one to sleep, and pushed another out the way and started sprinting immediately. Getting branded is where he crossed the line. He realized this was slavery. He was looking back in fear. Let me go home, bro. I've never seen a man turn a corner so fast. Jumping over the car, tiptoeing through the hallway, and didn't even think twice about getting water in his shoes. But now he's got the baldies in front of him, and by the way this one behind him jumped in the water, I knew that if he got caught, they were about to do something to him that rhymes with grape. Max started climbing up a chain, kicking one back into the water, holding on to the metal bars, but one of them jumped up and pulled him down. The way he was falling reminded me of when Naruto came out the water, grabbed Sasuke by the ankles and tossed him into rocks, just falling down face first to experience some real pain. Getting back up, knocking bro's head against some metal and passing him back to the bros. Max is running for his life until he finally sees sunlight and sees that the door leads to a dead end. So he looks down, then looks up and is like, which dumbass designed this place? Jumping onto the hook that was just hanging there. One of the war boys tried to grab him and falls to his doom, but the rest of them managed to catch Max and bring him back inside. He was running around the place like a toddler who just got told it's nap time. Little nigga needs to stop before I put melatonin in his milk. So now we see the leader, the big boss, and I mean big. Lay off the calories. They call him Immortan Joe, waving his hands in the air while everyone holds up their pots and pans, waiting for him to turn on the water. And I kid you not, this man had the water on for only 30 seconds before he turned it right back off. The amount of people waiting to get a sip of a luxury, and only like 10 of them even got 5 drops that landed in their bucket. He really gatekeeping water. I can't even be mad at bro. Last time I went to get some pizza and there was a line out the door, I said bring back gatekeeping. Y'all niggas tripping. Furiosa takes the war rig and goes for a ride to fetch some gasoline to bring back home. She's there driving alongside a cavalry to make sure the journey is smooth, and randomly decides to turn the rig with one hand on some nonchalant shit. This man right here was looking back mad confused, tapping the V, telling the driver that Furiosa is wildin'. One even climbed over like, yo boss, is you cool? And she just hit the side eye and looked back at the sand in front of her. Bro had to move his head over a bit. I know you see me, bitch. You acting as if I said free R. Kelly.
I see piss coming, I move. She saw piss coming, she stayed.
Yeah, she did.
We're heading east. Okay. And started pointing, telling everyone to get to work. He trying to get a pay raise. Immortan Joe saw that she was heading off script and started running towards the secret vault and saw that his wives were long gone. And the nanny was just standing there with a shotgun pointing at his skull. And she waited until this man walked up right to her face and pushed the gun to the ceiling before pulling the trigger. I don't know, bro. I think it's time to put her in a nursing home. She's past her prime. She's going senile. The boss tells everyone to suit up. They're going after Furiosa. So this one war boy called Nux grabs onto a steering wheel and claims it's his. So they're telling him that he can barely walk. It's over, bro. Retire. her. But he's like, nah, no way. Just take my blood bag with me and I'll be straight. Until we see that the blood bag is Max. And even Max was perplexed. What? How are y'all gonna take me outside? But he headbutts dude and takes the wheel. And all of a sudden, Max is strung up at the front of a car while Nux is driving. So Furiosa is now worrying about Immortan Joe, who is chasing after her. And on top of that, some enemies show up. Hey yo, we turning back? But nah, she wanted all the smoke. Honking the horn, telling everyone to continue forward on some Irwin type timing, thinking shit sweet like some lemonade, until she saw the first dude get caught in a trap. The car flipped over and Brody got absolutely launched. There was a moment of silence, and then she shifted gears and pressed the gas. Some random enemy was on their ass, knocking over some war boys on a bike and getting met with a spear, but they weren't stopping. He doing all this for a man called Immortan Joe, by the way. He needs better priorities. They finally blow up that vehicle, but get met with two more pulling up on the other side. So she opened up the door and they made sure to make them eat dirt and lay under the hot sun. But some more pull up again. She was looking back like, no! They spawning out of nowhere. Immortan Joe and the gang show up too, and the first thing they do is sacrifice themselves to take out one of the enemies. And for the big truck, they blew that bitch up too. They had one of the war boys looking like he was in that one elite chopper vid, that elite diving for, just to end up with a concussion. Immortan Joe and all the war boys are chasing after Furiosa, trying to get her to turn back. But she's heading straight for the giant storm clouds. So Glasses came back like, oh shit, the brakes don't work or something? And she started sweating bullets. Tried to ignore bro, so he started choking her out and got poked in the eyes and started turning the rig to take out Nux, completely destroying one of the tires. So he told his minion that they need counterweight and to move the blood bag to the back, causing Max to lick the windshield. Nux was appalled. Get this ugly ass nigga out the way. The minion thought it was easier to just lighten the load, so he was ready to cut off Max's neck. But once he gets distracted, Max blocked the arm and turned him over, but he grabbed onto the chain. So Max had to make him taste the boots and kicked him off, losing his shoe in the process. And now his toes are all up on my screen. I'm tired of seeing niggas with their toes out. I might have to take a break and turn on a Tarantino movie instead. They're all driving into the storm, where Furiosa is taking the opportunity to push people into the tornadoes, flying mid-air, getting completely obliterated. But Nux saw that and thought it was paradise. He was like, oh yeah, ready to go meet and have a long conversation with Epstein. Started releasing the gasoline and giving himself them Temu grills. Max wasn't having that. He barely even know, bro. He started punching on the glass, breaking through, and tried to grab onto Nux, who just whips the car in front of the war rig and lights up a flame, but gets his hand stopped by Max, and the war rig just runs them over and has Max dribbling off the ground. So anyways, the storm passes and Max gets up from the sand looking like he was just dipped in a bag of Cheetos, dragging Nux's body out the wreckage and trying to rip off the shackles, and gets the idea to try and shoot off the hand instead. But that wasn't gonna work, turning his head and seeing the war rig in the distance. So he takes Nux's boot and puts that bit on and makes his way over. Craziest thing is, you can't tell me this fit not tough. The boots, the shotgun in one hand, the car door in the other, and he's got Nux over his shoulder like some animal fur. If this was Balenci, y'all niggas would buy it. He looks forward and sees a whole bunch of fine women soaked in water. I thought this was the promised land. He put that shotgun away so quick and threw Nux off his shoulders. But then he came back to his senses and pointed that gun right back at them. And his genius plan was to have one of them as a hostage using a shotgun that doesn't work, and make another one use the bolt cutters to try and cut the chain off. Furiosa, on the other hand, was not trying to waste time. She was over there sneaking up, charging in like a train, tackling him to the ground, took the shotgun and gave him a left, placing it under his muzzle, realizing that it don't work. He was all bark, no bite. So he blocks her arm and flips her over, while the wives grab his chain and pull him off. And look at the passing play. Tossed the bolt cutters and started swinging. F it, he over there somewhere. And started getting blocked by the car door, getting it ripped out her hand and getting tripped up by the chain, making her way over to a secret gun that she had. But Nux was awake. He sensed all them fine shits and was on go, leaping at Furiosa, holding her down while Max pulls on the chain, giving her the chance to hit bro with the elbow, put that man right back to sleep. Max goes for the gun, gets pushed up against the rig and unloads the mag. And the second that little shit dropped, Nux was looking at it like a fresh wig out the bag. He needed those. Max dodges the bullet and slams Furiosa up against her back, but all the wives were jumping on Nux crazy, so he gets pulled back, kicked in the face, palmed the scalp like a basketball, kicked again and starts to get choked out. So he elbowed her back, rolled around, and she got to slapping bro around with the hose, rolling over some more, holds her down, and look at Nux diving in. I've never seen a play so beautiful, shooting the ground, letting her know she needs to calm down. But they turn their head and see the cavalry on their way, and Nux is smiling his ass off, thinking about all the money, all the fame he's about to have. So Max used this opportunity to get Nux to be nice and cut the chain. And once that chain was cut and Nux was looking out into the sun, Max robbed the nigga, give me that shit twin, and punched him in the dick, leaving him in the sand before hopping on the war rig and driving away. Only problem was the truck stopped moving after a couple hundred meters, so Furiosa had to get right back behind the wheel. Max was moving like that one Key and Peele skit, clearing the whole table for master plan for no reason really. They're driving and seeing that they've got some more company approaching, but the rig ain't shifting gears, and they realize that there's some dragging in the back. So Max goes out there and reattach the thing and even manages to take off the muzzle on his face, chucking it away. And it turns out that Nux somehow made it onto the war rig and came jumping out the bottom, choking out Furiosa. They were even trying to bite him off. Ew, this is the apocalypse, bro. They for sure do not brush their teeth. Max tells Furiosa to look, there's more people showing up. I'm so confused. Everyone and their mama trying to jump them? Nux was in the back chatting, saying none but straight BS. So they decided it was easier to just throw him out the truck. They get to a checkpoint and the wives get back to hiding, while Furiosa says that she made a deal up ahead and tells Max that if anything goes wrong, he's the one that's gonna have to drive. He's the captain now, telling him the secret sequence to start the truck. I ain't gonna lie though, it was damn near Morse code. Ain't no way y'all had to do all this. The war boys don't look too bright. It's not like they're gonna steal it. 2 buttons would have done the trick for sure, for sure. She comes to a stop and hops out, putting up her hands, saying that she's brought the gasoline. Same shit that was written on the contract. So they're like, hold up. You said there'll be a few vehicles in pursuit. Maybe. But I'm looking over there and there's an army. I mean, in the contract, as you just said, it states the word maybe. You've got to read the fine print, little bro. But they weren't having that. So Max got to moving, while Furiosa started sprinting, trying to get out of there alive, sliding under and almost getting dragged out by a dude on a motorcycle. Luckily, she kicked him off and he got turned to a pancake. So the big boss changed his mind, lost one soldier and decided to be a pacifist, signaled his crew to blow up the spot and close off the passageway. And after that 1 second as a pacifist, he went right back to violence, chasing down Max and Furiosa. One of them cut in front and throws a bomb down that causes some flames, while the rest of them are moving like that one car scene, pulling up so clean to set more fires to the war rig. But the truck got them technological upgrades, using the front to plow the sand and put out the flames. Furiosa was a sniper specialist though, told Max to pass the rifle and made one twirl, then sniped another out the air. He got his legs spread, balls swinging, and she got a third one too. The boss came up on top and started spraying, but Max was locked in, shooting him down. And after all that commotion, they thought they were free. But Immortan Joe came out the woodworks. He somehow got past the mountain of rubble and caught up. He got the first apocalyptic supercharged V10. How he catch up so fast? Pulling out the mouse tool just to see one of his wives just open the door and risk her life. Apparently, she's his favorite. Plus, she's pregnant. But one thing we've got to talk about is how this man has 5 wives. He's moving as if this was buy one, get 4 free. Last time I saw a deal so good, it was at KFC. That's when I knew the C in KFC must have meant cockroach. I had to take a closer look and realize that the old man wasn't looking too good that day. Furiosa points her gun and one of the war boys uses himself as a shield, getting shot. Nux, who somehow found his way onto the boss's car, is telling Immortan Joe that he knows the secret entrance to the rig. So the big boss gives him the gun and gives him the makeshift grills. Look at him, closing his eyes and smiling. This is like giving someone from Atlanta a pair of skinny jeans and a Hellcat. He jumps onto the war rig and in 0.2 seconds goes right back to being a loser. Even the motivational music decided to leave. The composer even had enough. Immortan Joe jumps out in front of them and one of the minions get the chance to shoot a spear at the steering wheel, locking it in place and even pulling it off the hinges. Max got his hand squished to the ceiling, screaming in pain. So Blondie had to cut the chain and they lose the wheel. But now the issue is they're heading right for a rock. But Blondie, for some reason, was still outside. Immortan Joe is telling her to pay attention. Get back inside. It's not like the air is even breathable. And the rock scrapes the side of the truck. But she did manage to get to safety just in time. So Max was looking at her like, yay! The plot armor is strong with this one. But she does end up falling and getting ran over, causing Immortan Joe to crash. And oh shit, how do I block the screen? They be letting anybody be king. It's got to stop. Anyways, they sent the redhead to go to the back to do some repairs. And while she's there, she sees Nux, who's just laying there in tears on some do you think the chat clipped that? What? When I tripped and embarrassed myself, do you think it's gonna be on TikTok? And starts knocking his head. She had to grip the cranium and tell bro to chill. And the second she laid down next to him and touched his lips, he realized the life of a traitor may not be so bad after all. It's nighttime now and the war rig is stuck and is not moving. So they're all outside trying to figure out how they're gonna move this thing and see the truck roll a bit further. So they hit the jets, open the door and point the guns at Nux, who's pointing at the tree in the background. But they've got more important things to worry about. They've still got enemies following them. So Furiosa passes the sniper to Max, who gets ready and misses the first shot. And now he only has 2 shots left. So he's like, damn, and misses the next shot too. So Furiosa passes the Glock and takes the sniper from him. He's garbage. And shows him how it's done. Nux ties the rig to the tree and uses it to get moving. But after about 100 meters, the engines overheat. And now Max has the brilliant idea of taking matters into his own hands. Nigga fought Batman once and now feels invincible, running into the smoke and blowing up their fleet. And when he came back, he made sure to bring souvenirs, passing Nux a brand new steering wheel and even some new kicks. One of the wives was like, "Are you hurt?" And Furiosa knew the play. Don't worry, it's not his blood. The glaze! I know y'all were locked in like these. It's the next day and they finally get to their destination, looking for the people of the green place. The reason they even ran away in the first place was to go to the green place and live good. They met some people and Furiosa is smirking. I can't wait for them to see the green place. They were like, but you already passed it. Huh? What you mean? Yeah, nah, you passed it a while ago. You ain't see the dead trees and the crows flying around? She fell to her knees. All that driving around and for what? So Max gets the idea to go back where they came from, to really bamboozle Immortan Joe, that high IQ movement, cause there's no one watching the fort right now, so they can take it over. She couldn't think of a better idea, so she was like, yeah, whatever, it sounds reasonable. So now, on the way back, Immortan Joe and his crew were on their ass. They out there clip farming. Just look! For what purpose? They caused Max to fall on his face and dodge the swing before knocking one out. 2 more pull up, but 1 gets shot. So now it's a 1v1. Got blocked, cut the leg, and got smacked off the rig. Retired him. Max punched someone to sleep and saw this man with a chainsaw running to the driver, getting ready to chop off a head. So he had to steal a gun and shoot him down. The way Max was moving, you would have thought he had superpowers. I saw him toss people out of moving cars and even bang some dude's head in while hanging on to a moving vehicle with 1 hand. This one war boy was trying to get the wives grabbing the arm and getting slapped. And he took the slapboxing game a bit too seriously, balled up his fist and punched the old lady. But don't worry, backup had arrived. Getting her weapon took and pushed off the truck. Useless. Max had to pick up a skull and tossed it at bro's shiny head. Jumped over and tries to punch him in the balls, but got his face palmed. All 5 fingers. It's so crazy. And launched away. Picked up by the neck and got smacked. They had to shoot him in the back to distract him, giving Max the chance to grab a can and give him CTE, hitting him repeatedly. And at the same time, Furiosa killed Immortan Joe. So you would think that it's done. They're free to go. But Broly over here came back for revenge. And instead of chasing after the car with Max, Furiosa, and the wives, he settled for Nux, who was driving the war rig. So to protect his girl, Nux decided to flip over the truck and take out everyone behind them, letting Max and the crew get back and take over the Citadel for good.